team member from the CFO's office on your team, you won't be positioned to bust chaos in the future. Chaos buster number 3, let the consumer define the process. Most of us grew up with outbound marketing where we targeted consumers and sent messages to them, and we'll continue to do that, and it will play its role. But now it's about engagement. It's not about brand communication, and it's about brand transformation, and our empowered consumers choose how or when to engage. We need to facilitate their process and think about all of the ways that they come to us from the internet and make that an equal part as the inbound part. And in the process of enabling them, they have to trust us. They want a marketer's voice at the table, but only if they believe that it's credible and will tell the truth. Outbound marketing, it didn't matter nearly as much. My favorite example of trust marketing is General Motors, where we put on 80 auto shows in motion a year. And in those auto show in motions, consumers can come and test drive the General Motors cars. Now wait, they can also test drive the competition and make their own decisions. That's trust. We wouldn't have done that before. Consumers trust blogs for some reason because they're third party. Most consumers trust public relations. Public relations is growing exponentially. And Microsoft has empowered a chief blogging officer to write whatever he wants. And sometimes it's not totally favorable to Microsoft. So chaos buster number 4, change the planning table and make it bigger. My friend Bob Lutz, vice chairman of General Motors, is a blogger at 73. He's arguably one of the most important car people in the world. He's listed in the recent book, The 6 Men Who Changed the Car Business. He changed Chrysler forever by eliminating the silos that dominated the culture and taking a slice out of all of the disciplines and totally empowering those teams to do things. In the process, they went from the highest cost producer to the lowest cost producer. Our business of marketing, whether it's on the client side or on the agency side, demands holistic planning up front and demands that everyone be at the table with an equal voice. Advertising-led integration does not work for holistic thinking. It works only if the team is all at the table and thinking as one. And when I think about that, I always think about showing one of my favorite movies by Oliver Stone. When he talks about American football, what he likes about it, Al Pacino is telling a young quarterback played by Jamie Foxx what he most remembers about the game. Let's watch. One of our agencies has even changed the team from the traditional team that looked like this to a purpose-built team that looks like this. Universal planners, which have an entirely new role, interactive directors, and you get the idea, change is necessary. Chaos buster number 5 surprised the hell out of them, which is everything I needed to learn about the advertising business was said by the great American general Ulysses S. Grant. That's because consumers spend most of their time trying to put your product or your company or whatever you sell in a drawer. I know what you are. I'll call you up if I need you. Major research tells us today that the only way for established brands to re-engage is with the element of surprise, through media choice, through message choice, and through frequent change to give them something new to look at. Changing the medium and being light on your feet with the element of surprise also means that the new forms, like what you saw earlier, can't exist under the old television production norms, where we spend hundreds of thousands of dollars for one piece of film, 30 seconds long or 60 that lasts for a year, because the web and the new forms eat content, and they need many forms, and instead of hundreds of thousands, we need tens of thousands frequently done. Chaos Buster number 6, without digital strategy, there is no strategy. I even go so far as to say without a search strategy, a search engine strategy, there is no strategy. It's the starting point, but the search engine companies are becoming full content media companies, and without that strategy, you don't have one. We're 10% of the way to the information age, and the opportunities are huge. Chaos Buster number 7, budget to learn and to fail. The marketers who are winning today, like Procter & Gamble, are taking risks. They're not afraid to experiment, put money on new forms, to learn about blogging and podcasting, to learn what works and to incorporate it in there. Chaos for many marketers means paralysis. They're uncertain of how to use the new forms, so they don't do anything. Budgeting and being willing to fail is essential. Chaos Buster number 8, find new communities. The digital economy and the empowered consumer produce a kind of loneliness and isolation. Spending all day on the web is not that much community. And yet there still is a need for water cooler talk, for people to come together, and for the element of warmth in a digital time. I'll give you one anecdote. After I look at 200-300 emails a day, I simply burn out. I've gone back to dictating and handwriting letters. You can't imagine what happens when somebody that is paperless suddenly finds a handwritten letter in their mail. It jumps right to the top of the radar screen, and a whole different kind of connection happens. In the digital and paperless economy, understanding that need for community is powerful. Chaos Buster number 9, build brand platforms, not just campaigns. I'm going to show you 3. I'm going to show you one for Microsoft. Their platform that Steve Ballmer, the CEO, told me has changed the way they think of themselves and given them a mission, is that we see possibilities. It's inside, it's outside, it's based on product. And at L'Oreal for years, our platform for them has been because you're worth it. And for MasterCard, we know from research that for every dollar they spend on marketing behind the priceless campaign, they can expect $5 in return. Those are platforms. Let's look at those 3. The last Chaos Buster is planned to become part of the culture with your work. And it can be done, and it's been done over and over again with the right kinds of campaigns. I'll share one with you that Bunty's very familiar with that's been running now for 14 years. It's about milk. It's turned around an entire industry. It started with a milk mustache where celebrities donated their honorarium, I guess like I did, the $25,000 to charity for the PR effort they got out of being involved. And it has become an incredible part of the culture. Let's take a look at just a few clips of how that campaign has made its way to added value by acculturation. So are the new realities creating a time of chaos? Sure. But for change cultures that experiment, that are holistic thinkers from the start, that build communities with trust, tell rich emotional stories, and who create the element of surprise, it is a time of unique leverage. And I certainly hope that your company gets there and gets there well, because it is a wide open field of opportunity. It's been my pleasure to spend time with you, and if the research is to be believed, driving some of your sexual fantasies. And now I'm happy either to answer questions or to give you the opportunity to have cocktails. It's your choice.
Like old Star Trek and new Star Trek. You know, the bridge of the Enterprise had 4 people on it in the old Star Trek, and in the new Star Trek, there's, you know, the captain, he just says, make it so.
Well, holistic thinking with the number of disciplines involved requires a new Star Trek.
Thank you.
In fact, you used to be able to get by with 3 people on the bridge, but a lot has changed since then.
It just, the larger size of the team sort of shows the way that, you know, Star Trek has always been kind of a spearhead. It's the intersection between real science fiction and what the masses want. Thanks.
Please. You can come up here and ask it, it's all right.
Thank you. Well, it is widely accepted by most advertisers, marketers, that half the advertising budget is wasted. The problem is that they don't know which half. So my question is, how can you measure the effectiveness of a marketing platform? As you said, not a marketing campaign, but a marketing platform.
Well, that's an evolving science. There are lots of parts of it today that can be pretty well measured. Certainly, the internet gives us great data and great feedback. Direct marketing certainly has done that for a long time, and